Hello and welcome back to some more Hermit Skies. In the last episode we did this whole thing, which is mostly now filled with capacitors. I think there's only one which is down here, which I'm waiting on a capacitor that actually increases the range and power. Some of them just don't work. I think the way some of those capacitors work is they only work or affect certain machines. So we just have to get one more from the loot bags down there that actually affects that machine in or the farming station. As soon as that's done, every one of these bar, I think these two down here, which currently don't need them, will have capacitors in them. Because this one does have a capacitor in it, but it does increase it, but obviously it's got nowhere to go for this. So we do eventually have to get there, because I've been looking at all these, like, let's say the 9x9s. Let's say we look at water, for example. You can see how many we've got. And now I know they won't grow as quickly, but in the time that those are made 304 stacks, I have used some of these admittedly, but these are only made about 2 stacks. So we will be timesing our output by, you know, like 80 times pretty much every, when we fill these up. So the Awakened Draconium won't be that difficult to get, and Nether Stars won't either, and hopefully that'll be a good and easy source of EMC for us as well, because I have been currently using my EMC on Nether Stars, because it's a big thing, and we currently have 562, which is 78 million. Now, it's not on the levels of Emerald Horse Armor yet, or the amount we have, but I mean, we got quite a lot of emeralds. But yeah, there's a few things I want to do today, and one of them is the thing I meant to do during this, because I actually totaled it up, the time I looked at the time I started recording the last episode and the time I finished recording the last episode, and it was actually about 7 hours. Now, admittedly, I didn't have 7 hours straight of playing. There were some times I was having a break, but we could have had quite a lot of Neutronium if we had that Neutron Collector. So that is what I want to start with first, and I'm going to make up for the lost time by making 81 of these. That is the plan. Obviously, it's got an EMC value, so all I have to do is make one and then EMC it up. Shouldn't be too difficult, and then I'm just going to fill one of these squares. Possibly this one, if I'm going to move the solar panels, because they don't really need to be anywhere specific. I'll just move them over here. But if we can have an 81, 9x9 area of Neutron Collectors going into a diamond chest, for example, that might be quite a cool thing. Because they don't require power, which is also really quite cool. But they do require quite a lot of items in the Neutron Collector. So let's get all those together. So we are going to need, and luckily we have obviously tons and tons of materials now, so these should not be difficult for us to get. Plus, I think we already had them anyway. We need 10 quartz blocks, quite a few redstone blocks. So let's 20 of those. And there we are. Then we need some iron blocks, which we should have a ton of. We need 21 iron blocks from what I worked out. And then we need some crystal matrix ingots, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these, which is going to require some lattices. So do those have an EMC value? Yes, they do. So I'm actually just going to make the one and then EMC it up, because, you know, that's a little bit easier. So all we have to do is go into here, do that, get some, like, emeralds. Emeralds have really high EMC, so I'm just using those as my kind of thing for the moment. But 7 of these, and then... See, that's not going to be enough, but more emeralds. Luckily, we can obviously make a ton, as I said. So there we go. And we got 1 spare, I guess, if we ever want to EMC anything again. So let's work out where these were going. So I think they were kind of like that. And then it was kind of that. I remember 10 up here. I think that's correct. There we are, Neutron Collector. I did that slightly off memory, which was quite impressive to me. So now we can take this crystal matrix ingot, go into there. We're going to have to get something with a lot of EMCs, so we'll actually pop down here quickly and see if we've got anything. Unfortunately, I recently just cleared this thing out, so you can see there's not really many iron items in here. Not really many like music discs or any of the relatively high EMC items, because these do have 2048. So there'll be no like stuff of traveling in here really. There's 3. So what I'm gonna do is I will just grab a few of these. It's not gonna be enough for 81, but we'll slowly make our way up. So I'll actually see you in a sec once I have 81 of these, because it's gonna be quite a while until we get there. but it will be worth it hopefully in the end. You know what? I've had an idea. Instead of just having no passive increase in EMC, I want to just, because it's obviously taking a while, like these are 3 million, a stack of emeralds is about 5 million, so we're only making about 1.5 every stack, and whilst we again do have a lot of emeralds, you know, essence, I don't want to be spending all of it on this thing when I don't feel like it's particularly worth doing. So what I actually wanted to do was take a cobblestone generator tier 5, or at least 9 of them, as you can see we have. Luckily we had exactly enough spare EMC to actually make 9 of them on top of the one we already had, and I want to take all that cobblestone and I want to compress it. So I think the best way of probably doing this is maybe a compacting drawer, which might also get us a little bit closer to a quest being completed. So we need a piston, because there is a quest, like a really early quest we still haven't done relating to compacting drawers. But if we get some item conduits and then some of these, hopefully that kind of updates that quest in here. I mean, it's not everything. We need a drawer controller and a controller slave, but I don't think we will need those. And what I want to do is, where can we put it? I guess we can put it here for the moment, or actually over here for the moment. So we're going to have to get a middle area. I think actually, yeah, I want 9. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'll put it 1 block down. I'm just hoping this will work, because I was looking recently at compressed cobblestone, and if we get compressed cobblestone, let's actually look up specifically cobblestone. It's not going in order here, but compressed cobblestone is 981. The octuple ones is 43 million, but you can see if we just get like even a lowish level, like a sextuple maybe, or even a quintuple, that's 59,000. And these obviously produce super duper quickly. So what we can do is, what I want to do is I want to get a conduit probe, because I found out these are really useful for when you're doing this. So what we want to do is, we want to extract always. I want to put that in there, and we want to copy that, and that'll just do this. That saved me so many times during this whole thing. There are a few I missed, so some of them still have outputs full and are mainly going to the AE system, but I don't think there's any more that are causing issues yet. But we just need to fill these up with some upgrades. I'm hoping I have enough. If not, again, EMC is our friend. And 2 more. Yep, we'll have enough, definitely. Just make sure I got that one. Yep, and then we want a compacting drawer, which probably wants some upgrades in it. So, luckily we have quite... it's storage upgrade, isn't it? So, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we want to go down. And then up a tiny bit. Insert into here. So now what's happening is... you can see very, very quickly also, these have already... oh, not what I wanted to do. I wanted to... oh, I've broken everything now. Let's just get rid of that. Yeah, what we can do now is you can see we already have 45 of these. And then we can probably just do that into another compacting drawer on top. Okay, so the game just crashed. It's been doing that a little bit recently. I don't know if it's to do with this system or it's more than likely to do with this over here. But I realized, or I tried for a few minutes, just trying to get this this cobblestone thing getting sorted. And I think I'm going to have to do it sometime off camera because it is really, really awkward and not working exactly the way I thought it would. I don't know if it's being influenced by maybe this slowing down game ticks or something like that, but it over here for some reason isn't working the way it should. So I'm gonna have to just go back to an old-fashioned thing, which I'm just gonna throw a Neutron Collector down there. I also somehow apparently duplicated my draw keys. I don't know how I did that. I only ever had 1, I swear, and I apparently now have 2. But yeah, what we need to do is we need to just make a lot of EMC, or find something that has a lot of EMC. Even if I just go down to here, I guess, and just steal all the emerald. Oh, we got a full drive already. Oh, we've actually got to that point. But we're gonna have to just maybe do this and obtain these 81 in a very not awkward way, but using everything to our disposal. and probably not having much left over. But we need 64 plus 16 and then, or 64 plus 17 to get 81. So that's what we're aiming for here. It's going to take a while to get there, I think. But also, we do have all these to do. So if we wanted to, we could use the emerald essence, make an emerald out of those. And obviously we have 20,000 of those. So in theory, we can make like, what, 18,000 emeralds? If it's 8 for 1, no, that's the like 2,000 emeralds, I think, would be what that is. Because if it's 18,000, that'll be, yeah, 9 per 1. Something along those lines. Either way, we're not to 16 after all that time. I just need a high EMC thing. I guess nether stars is something we could use. 77 million. I think that would be better, obviously, if we had a way of crafting them, or not crafting them, we can obviously craft them, but if we had a way of automatically killing the wither, which we will get to, as I think I said, but I do want to get this done today, at least so it's running in the background whilst I'm doing everything else at the very least. But 31, we're about what, a third of the way there, so just over, I think. So we just need to get some more stuff like diamonds, emeralds, I guess. We could just start doing emeralds. Stacks and stacks and stacks of emeralds going up here. We're obviously going down quite a significant bit in the amount of essence we have. But again, these are all going to be producing in the background whilst everything else is obviously also producing in the background. So, you know, it's not going to be a huge hit to us, even though there are going to be a few essences. We're probably never going to use all of silicon essence. We're never going to use that much, I don't think. Rubber essence, what? Mystical flower, ice, dye essence, though they have a lot of recipes. I don't think we're going to use all of them. But yeah, we'll be back in a while when I've got 64 and 17 of those. It's going to be a long time from now, but we'll get there eventually. Okay, so lots and lots of emeralds later. We've almost got an 18th one, so we'll just grab some, like, diamonds or something and put that in there and get them all back. And something interesting you may have noticed is I've changed the location of my crafting storage. I don't know if it'll happen now, but a second ago when I was trying to put it back in, yeah, this block, for some reason, no matter what, like, if I put it on its own, it's fine. As soon as I fill it up, don't work. Don't know why. It was like that earlier. It was working, so I've just put it up here for now. Again, this all needs to be redone anyway, so it's not like a huge deal. But this is about 255 million RF, or not RF, EMC rather, that we are going to be using in this. And because I think I mentioned it in the last clip, I think that something's happened with ticks because this is so close, maybe. I actually want to get it a little bit away from there, so I'm actually going to put it here. I know it's not going to make too much of a difference if it is a tick issue because it's still loaded, but if I just get rid of this whole thing quickly, I should be able to just do this. And what we'll do is we'll place it like in the center here. Shouldn't again make actually an issue with the whole thing. We'll have the 9 on here. Oh, the 9 of those, and then the dimensional transceiver will also be there. Shouldn't actually make any issues, and everything should continue to work perfectly fine. And we can put our neutron collectors down here now. So if it's going to be 81, it's going to be the same as the same as with the farm, so it'll be a 9x9 area. So let's just quickly go get rid of everything here. The only thing is a few of the items are going to go to that vacuum chest over here, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. It doesn't really cause many issues. I mean, these chiseled factory blocks aren't too difficult to make, obviously. We're just going to place all these down here for the moment, and what will happen is every, I think it's 7,111 ticks, something along those lines, it will make a pile of neutrons. And what we want to do is basically get as many of those as we possibly can, which is why we've got 81 of these currently, all doing work and stuff. So once we get all of these in quickly, we will then just let's just, oh, there we are, 81 once we eventually get out of here. I forgot how much space there was to go, but yeah, you can see these you know, 10% of the way there. What we need to do now is we're just going to get like a diamond chest. Actually, we might get like a deep storage unit since we have a spare one. In fact, actually, let's, with the spare diamonds we had, why don't we just make another one of these, or a few of these. There we are. I think that's fine for the moment. So we'll put all these diamonds back. I also just got rid of an item. I don't know what it was. I actually genuinely have no idea what that item was. I might have to just check that last clip in a second. I can't think of what I threw away. Probably only something that I've only got one of, so if I haven't seen it by now, I probably won't see it at all. Nonetheless, though, we'll just deal with it. Ah, it's my magical boomerang. I think that was it, at least. If it isn't, then joke's on me, I guess. So what we want to do now is, yeah, the reason I actually did this and changed all my settings is I actually wanted to have the cobblestone in here. That was actually the reason, if you wanted to know. Because how much EMC is that? I know it's only one EMC, but that's 750,000 EMC. So this is 32%, so we've still got the time. We've got item conduits, not enough of them. I wonder if we have any item ducts. Because as much as I like item conduits, they are a little bit of a hassle because we're going to have to then get upgrades into them. Actually, it shouldn't matter because if they're making them every like 7,000 ticks, my thought there is that they might actually not have a problem with, you know, being so fast. Like, I won't have to necessarily have them outputting super speedy. I could just have them outputting regularly to this whole thing, because it shouldn't actually be a problem. But what we'll do quickly is we'll just place all these down, and obviously we now have the conduit binder or conduit probe thing, which can copy our settings over, which is really nice. So we'll use all that and hopefully get everything working correctly. But oh, I know they should go up to 64 within here. So actually, again, also shouldn't be an issue. But what we'll do is we'll set it to extract. We'll copy the settings, and we'll do that. And that should just, you know, obviously it starts off as never active, and it will go to always active on here. Now it takes a little while because obviously we still got to do each one individually. But it's better than setting up like an auto hotkey script like I did last time for the thing over there. It's better than doing that because that was a big time sink to actually get that done, and we haven't really utilized it too much. It was more a case of, again, just I just wanted 65 million buckets of lava, or millibuckets of lava, whatever it was. Speaking of which, we also, I don't know if I showed it in the thing, it might have been in a chance cube or something. I swear I got another demonically gargantuan drum full of a bit of water. It's like 10% water, or 1% water, I think, which is quite interesting. So if we just get rid of that, or even just replace the one is full of water right now with that, we can have like 65 million millibuckets of that. But I'm not sure if by the end of this we will actually have one in here, but maybe we will. No, we won't. Okay, I want to see this thing. It's at 75% roughly. Is it going to do what we want? Oh, we wanted to change it to deep storage, didn't we? Instead of being a regular chest, because if I'm away for a little while, maybe it will create more than a chest full. I don't think so, but having 81 here, and then obviously they're not going to be in sync. Maybe we could get some redstone signal on it and have them all turned off or something when we first put them in. But yeah, they'll be out of sync slightly. I don't think it's a huge issue, but we'll be making 81 roughly every 7,111 ticks, which should be good because we need the reason we want these is it's going to be... Also, didn't realize they had like this really nice effect in JEI either, or NEI. I can't actually remember what we're on now. But yeah, that will make a pile of neutrons. 9 piles of neutrons will make a neutronium nugget. Can also be used in making the cosmic meatballs, which look at that saturation amount. That's amazing. And then that can be turned into a 9 of those can be turned into a Neutronium Ingot. So it's sort of the same as the Draconium, Awakened Draconium essence. And then one of those can also be turned into Infinity Ingot and a bunch of other stuff like Neutronium Compressors and Infinity stuff, which we do definitely want to get onto. Because, for example, I'm not sure about the rest of them, but I know for a fact the helmet, if you wear the helmet, you don't have to eat anymore. So that's one quite cool thing. And those can be turned into Neutronium blocks, which can make Neutronium compressors again, which I'm not sure exactly what they do, if we can craft everything up, but I think maybe... Oh, no, the compressors are for the singularities, I think. Oh, guess what I didn't do and set in here? I am a little bit stupid. Is there any way I can get in there? Oh, isn't there a thing with the Yetta Wrench where if I do control... No, yeah, control? Or alt? There's something that you can do where you can, like, select this thing. I'm going to have to look that up quickly, because that will be really useful if I actually do learn what that is. Aha, I found out what it is. It's shift left click, and that's why. So if you shift left click on something, you can see or say which direction you want it to go to. So that is set to insert. Okay. Also, we've just got 64 plus 16 because, of course we did. Because I forgot the time in between that would do that. Oh my god, I've just realized how much we've got. Like, it doesn't hit you straight away. Though, for some reason we've only got 64 and 16. There should be 64 and 17. So one of these might possibly have one stuck. And I think it's more likely to be over here. So I'm going to quickly check all these to make sure I've got none, because obviously we had 64 and 17, so there should be 64 and 17 in there, and I feel like I missed one of these ender conduits anyway, so I'm going to have a double check of everything. If there's none in there, then we'll just have to deal with that fact, and that one of these is maybe not making one, or if there's a chance that it doesn't get made, maybe that's it, but we'll have to see. It's going to take a while, though, to actually check. Oh, it would make sense, actually. It's the one that's literally underneath. Extract. There we are. 64 and 17. Now it's working. There we are. So now, if we were to, for example, take all that out, we could make, I don't know how many, but I think we could actually make like 9. Yeah, we can make 9 of these. Which then can make a Neutronium Ingot. So every 7,000 or whatever ticks it is, I'm probably getting the number wrong, I'm just going off memory. But every however many ticks, we will get 81 of these, which will make a Neutronium Ingot, which is really cool. If there's a way we can increase ticks, maybe that'll be quite cool as well. But for now, that's a thing. I'm not sure if it relates to... possibly. I mean, this is a thing. I don't know how many we need. 16 of these, and we need 3 catalyst and 6 crystal matrix ingots, which, I mean, how many is for one of these? Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So we need 24 for 1 infinity ingot on its own. So I don't know why it's only making us get 16, but nonetheless, 16 or 21 or whatever I just said is needed for the infinity ingots. We need to make 3 of those, so we need to do that 3 times. We also then need the crystal matrix ingots, which are fine, and then the infinity catalysts, which take a lot of stuff, but luckily we've got every single one of these is now a craftable thing, so that's actually perfect, except these. I don't know how to get that. Oh, just a pulsating crystal and a sag mill. Okay, that's fair. And then we need emerald carbon rod, endless pearl, which again needs more neutronium ingots and nether stars and stuff. But luckily this has an EMC value, so as soon as we get one, we don't ever need to make another one ever again. Hopefully. So that should be good. But it also requires Fluix blocks, another hyper diamond, damn it, and also red matter. I also found out this is required for an enchanter, so I'm pretty sure it was an enchanter that required it, yeah. So I never want to make that thing in the world. But yeah. this is going to do its job now in the background whilst we do everything else for this episode, which is going to be over here, actually, because I want to finally get some crafting done. And I think that'll be it for this episode then, because other than making a bunch of EMC, which I'll probably just do in the background with Cobblestone, which I'll just work out myself, I'll probably just fill this up like an... I'm very stuck on the 9x9 instead of like an 11x11, whatever this is, so that's why I think it's actually 12x12. I just like having a sort of pathway around it, so I will continue to probably do that, but we can have like an a 9x9 81 cobblestone generators going into a deep storage unit or something, then crafting into another thing, you know, just getting as high amounts of cobblestone and as quick amounts of compressed cobblestone and EMC from that as we can. But for now, we're going to go make some molecular assemblers. In fact, I'm actually going to steal this one and just, you know, EMC it, which we actually can't do. So I'm going to create a crafting thing, a crafting recipe for a molecular assembler, and I need to make 15 more. 15 more. Right then, so I've gotten everything hopefully together. I put down the 16 molecular assemblers, and basically the way I wanted to do this is I'll put down the glass cables down first, was basically like this. So there'll be 4 on each side, so that actually makes 32 channels to be in use for this entire thing. My only concern there is having... power to the molecular assemblers, but what I might do is one of two things, and that is either I might set up a completely separate dedicated line for the power, or I might just put energy acceptors with a dimensional transceiver on the end of them, just to make sure they are definitely powered, or maybe we'll do some other thing, I don't know. We just need to make sure we basically do have them powered though. So there'll be 64 in total, so we are just going to put the interfaces like this, and this will get us obviously so for every single one of these we'll have 9 recipes, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, so we'll have 9 times 64 different recipes that we can have, which I feel like a lot of those are going to be filled up pretty quickly with obviously the essence ones, because we're obviously going to have stuff with essences to craft all the other things. Like if we don't have any tin, let's say, it's going to craft up tin using the essence that we have from the farm, and a bunch of other stuff like that. But I think obviously we should still have enough. There's what, going to be like 1 recipe maybe every so often for these, or 1 recipe each, and there's like 89 of them, so that's only like 1 stack and a bit of recipes for that. So there should be I think I missed 1 somewhere. Yeah, right here, because I was going to say I had 20 left, but I only needed 16. So once these are all in, then we just have to make sure that it's getting powered, which is my only other concern. But as I said, a lot of recipes are going to come out of this. Obviously, we do also have these interfaces, which we're going to have to transfer over, which, you know, I kind of forgot to just take the 4 that were there and could have used those, but nonetheless, we're just going to transfer them over. And they do luckily have EMC values on the interfaces, so, you know, we can at least EMC them up, unlike the molecular assemblers, which obviously don't. And then what we need to do now is we're just going to input all of these speed upgrades into here. I don't know if it's enough. I did some very crude and basic math to try and work out if it was enough. I'm hoping it is, because obviously it's 5 per 1, and then there's going to be 16 of them. So I was thinking, yep, actually we've got the right number. That's perfect. I can't remember exactly how much we had, but either way, that is all sorted now. That's good. Now we just need to cable this thing up, so I'm just going to get the dense cable. I've also got some smart cable with me, just for some extra stuff. I actually wanted to check. I'm going to have to get the quartz one. If I put smart cable here, does that work? It does. Okay. So I might replace these with smart cable in a minute though, just because smart cable does look a little bit nicer. But what we're going to have to do is set up the dense cable. So what I'll probably do is I'll just set it up going off of this line and then this line possibly, just going into this over here. So if we have, even if it's just here and maybe here, just so we have them separate still and we don't have to color them right now. But we'll set them up so it starts... We'll start here, I guess. Because then if I'll have to start there so that I can go over to here and over to here, because otherwise I'm going to have to go under the molecular assembler and then it's going to waste a channel for us, so we don't particularly want that. So let's dive down with that. Come over here. And then I'm going to have to maybe do a little bit of... okay, so if it's going there, then that's going to... I'll do a dense cable up here. And then I'll output this one 2 blocks out. That should work a little bit better. And then the other one can go right into here. I'm not going to have enough cable. Dense. Why are you not working? Why are you not working? God damn it. What's going on? Come on. It did this last time I updated some channels. I'm not sure exactly what it's doing. I don't know if it's because, like, there's too many on this channel, possibly, but it's finally sorted itself out. It's just a little weird. We haven't got the best setup in the world, but obviously, we're trying to fix that, but it does take a while. That smart cable, we don't want that. We want dense cable, boom, and a boom. And yeah, we'll just use some smart cable for the rest of it, I think. So what I want to do is, I don't know the best way of doing this. Maybe we'll just have it like pretty simply like this. Just on the outsides, maybe. So that's all those. I want to quickly check channel-wise when it eventually updates how long or how many channels we've actually got in this thing. It'll eventually update, but what we can just do for the moment is just 2 cables over here, here, and there. So 38. It doesn't look exactly amazing, but it looks quite interesting, I guess. 8 channels, which, okay. We don't exactly want 8 channels. Oh, I see. I see why that's doing that, because we've limited it out. So we are going to have to go under for these. So that's something we are going to have to deal with. So we'll do this then. Because obviously I'm using smart cables to transfer that, and they can only hold 8 channels, so that will be why. That is actually very, very stupid of me. I don't know why I didn't think of that straight away. For this sort of thing over here, what I can do is I can get rid of these and then put smart cables there. That should still do what I need it to. But for stuff like this, we'll just go dense cable like this. It's not going to, again, look amazing, but, you know, function over form, you know, is something I go for a lot of the time. So as long as it works, I'll worry about making it pretty later. In fact, we don't actually need that second cable, really, but I do like the symmetry to it, I guess. So, more dense cable, and luckily this is the one we have the most of right now, which actually wouldn't cause an issue because of EMC, obviously, but, you know, time into actually transferring EMC. And then we gotta do that. Those will be cables this way and cables this way. Get rid of those, and then do some smart cable in there, and just the 2 here, and these then should have 32 channels in use, and that is the thought process here. So it's at 8 channels still. Hopefully it should update soon. That'll be nice. It takes a while to update, it really does, and it's slightly annoying, but as soon as this is updated, yes, 32 channels fully. It's really nice when you cable like this and it looks like it's fully in use. So there's 32 channels being used. All of these are So at that point we can, not on here, but on here, we can do some assembling. Now I want to make sure this actually works. So I want to take a, let's say this seed here. I want to put this seed in this crafter. And I want to go and get a base crafting seed and check that this works. Now that's my concern, is power. Now, not molecular, but I don't know if this will work. I'm assuming not so much. But if I receive main power and do that, are you going to... No, you're not. So am I going to have to make an energy acceptor for every single one of these, possibly? So if I need more of this stuff. So if I make an energy acceptor, place that underneath, so pretty much going to be no floor to this thing. We then do that. I want to... Is there any way I can, like, get that cable not connected? I guess I'm going to have to use covers, but we're going to have to do that and then output through the top. Is that going to craft now? Have I got one of those seeds in here? I do. If I want to make another one, is that going to craft up? Yes, it is. Okay, so we're just going to have to put energy acceptors at the very bottom of these, and then get some covers, or some like cobblestone covers or something like that, or maybe even skystone covers maybe, and just put them on the sides so that these energy acceptors don't get used. So if we just get the like saw, skystone, which we can then furnace up, and it goes into this like the nicer looking skystone blocks. We'll waste one of these and just chisel it. It's going to be like that. Right, I've got 16 of them. Let's see how this works then. So I want to go and put you there. What I might have to do is I might have to actually take the cables off first. Just because. But yeah, I'm gonna just spend a bit of time working on this and seeing what I can get done. If I just do that, does that still work? No, it doesn't. So it's got to be down there first and then placed on, which is going to be a very awkward thing, as I said, especially because of like stuff like that. So I don't know if there's a way of like making the ME cable not do that. I wonder if... I mean, I guess I could just have them again up here and that completely gets rid of that entire problem. That's probably how I'll do it, actually. I'll just move the smart cables up a block. For a smart cable, it's not very... I'm not very smart with them. Yeah, even if we just do dense cables like that, it's still going to be the same amount of channels, and should be the same amount of channels still, and won't cause us that issue. So I think that's going to be the way that we go. Again, it's not as nice looking as what we just had, but it works. So that's going to have to be just how it is, unfortunately. You know, if I can just, in the time that we have it working, if I can get a better solution, I'll obviously change that, but for the moment, it's how we're having to unfortunately do it. But also we can just replace these factory blocks, slab things back in, and they won't look too weird. But yeah, I'm going to make a load of energy acceptors. I need to make, what, 15 now? More of them, which shouldn't take too long, hopefully, especially because they're quite cheap. And then we'll get a load of dimensional transceivers and powering those guys. What I might actually do as well is have maybe one going to a few batteries. So maybe I'll have like one in the middle here, middle of the two maybe, transferring power to some dense batteries or something like that. Because if we look up applied energistics, we can get a dense energy cell quite easily, and then that can store quite a bit of EMC or EA to power all these, hopefully. That is the plan at the very least. But we'll have to see how that goes quickly. Might also I think, stop us having to use energy acceptors possibly, but they're a little bit more expensive, so I think we'll just go the way I'm currently doing it, because that's probably easier. Right then, so here it is, finally completed and sorted out, and it looks actually quite cool on the map, I do want to say. If we look, it's 4 little things, but yeah, if we go up here, I obviously added energy acceptors to every single one. Instead of making a dimensional transceiver for every single one, I just got one in the center with a cable set up to every single one. I just thought that's the better way of doing it, because these shouldn't require too much power on a regular basis, and if we do want to, we can obviously do the dense energy cubes, or whatever they were called, just, you know, in here quite easily. We just have to lower, I think, the cables down one more block, and then we can just pretty much keep everything the same, and yeah, should be fairly easy. But now all of these will have the ability for, well, 9, 16, 36 patterns in every single one of these. Now, we don't want to do what we did here, where, you know, every pattern for a seed is in it, and every pattern for I guess, yeah, the red matter going up to Eternius and stuff, and red matter, and we also don't want, like, where is it? All of these in one single one. What we want to do is we want to spread them out. So, for example, if we take these 4, we want to just, for example, put them in one crafter each. So let's do that one, this one, this one, and then this one, and then the Insanium can go over here. Now, if we want to make Insanium, then we can craft, in theory, 5 times as fast, because whilst it's creating these, it will also then create the, whilst it's creating the Prudentium, it will create the Intermedium, and then the Superium, and then the Supremium, and then the Insanium. However, we are going to have to add something to our system over here, which is, we are going to have to make a co-optional crafting coprocessor, not co-optional processor, which is relatively simple. We just need to do that. We need some diamond stuff, though. And we also want to do that. I'm not sure if we'll do it now or I'll do it in between episodes, because we're in the auto-crafting mood, but basically, we want to auto-craft that up as well. The inscriber, whatever it was called. Yeah, inscriber. That is the word for it. What are we after? We after presses. Luckily, I've also been going out and collecting a few more presses, so even though you can make them, we don't necessarily need to, because you can make them using, obviously, that, or you can inscribe them using blocks of iron in the previous one, but we don't really need to worry about that, because we've just been going out and getting some Skystone meteor things in the other bases, or in the mining dimension, and finding those, which is quite nice. So, as soon as that's in there, that is a crafting coprocessor, and then what we can actually get is we can use this extra 64K crafting processor, or crafting storage, which we never got to use, and fill it up there. So basically what that means is for every single one of these, we can now craft an extra item at the same time, which is really nice. So what we want to also do is possibly, well, definitely, we're going to do the same thing we just did, but in the other side for these crafting seeds. Because again, we don't want any limiting factors to be available. We don't want anything to slow us down anymore, and since we've now got the space for it, we don't really have to worry. There is still going to be some conflict somewhere, because there's going to be an item that we need to craft, and, you know, because of, you know, we need a certain essence turned into a certain thing and all this jazz, you know, it's going to eventually have an issue. And same with the solar panels even. Solar panel ones, those are going to be a thing that we have to do. But what I'm actually thinking about doing is resetting all our crafting components and redoing our crafting setup, because it's now renewed here, and I think it's better if we just work from the ground up with our auto crafting. So I think, you know, stuff like the wood, which is 3 wood essence, yes, we'll add that back in, but I want to make it again, so I know I'm starting from scratch. The pattern one, though, I'm going to keep, because I want to make more patterns, obviously, and the quicker we can do that, the easier things will be. So it'll be over here, won't it? Oh, is it? I don't know. Where's the... Oh, it's over here. Yeah, the blank pattern one, for example, we will just place over here. And then if we want to do this again, we can obviously add, in theory, another layer. Bring the cables over here a little bit, do a different color, and then have 2 more channels. In fact, I might actually change the colors on here to white and black again, so I can move them a bit closer as well. Because it's... Yeah. I might want to do that because, you know, that worked out really nice and it's weird having that gap there. So yeah, if we do want to do that, we can even just maybe move the fire mills to a different area, maybe further back here, and have another auto-crafting setup. Or maybe we'll have one specifically for item, or not items, but machines here. So like, you know, pulverizers and yeah, pulverizers and furnaces and the like, or we'll just, for the most part, I think we should be fine with the essences, in all honesty. But yeah, I'm going to reset all these encoded patterns. I'm going to do it now so I don't continue talking about it and actually do it. And there's a few that I'm not going to need anymore, like the growth accelerators. I know I'm not going to need those anymore because obviously we don't really have much use in making another one. So we're going to be able to clear up shop a little bit here. But I think that's going to be it for the episode for now. I was thinking about doing some RF tool stuff, but I think I'll just do that in another episode because, I mean, we spent quite a lot of time doing everything today. Actually, let's just quickly check on our Neutronium. How many ingots is that now? Probably quite a lot. Oh, Neutronium. We have 2 ingots right now, so we'll have a look. That's going to be 9. That's actually a block. A block's worth of Neutronium sorted. So if we wanted to, we can now craft, or start thinking about crafting, a Neutronium compressor. We just need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 more of the Neutronium ingots. And unfortunately, they don't have the EMC. So we're just going to have to wait a little bit. And I also did look it up. It is actually definitely 7,111 ticks is how long it takes to do this. So I don't know if there's any way of increasing tick rates naturally. I know growth accelerators work for plants. I have a spare growth accelerator because I accidentally lost one and found it again. I wonder if I put a growth accelerator below here, would that, in theory, I don't think it would, but imagine if that sped it up. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't. I don't see a difference, and I feel like it's the growth accelerator is like adds a bone meal effect rather than increases ticks. But I did actually find out ages and ages ago. I was talking about this thing, what this block is, and it looked familiar. And apparently, I can double click on it now. And actually, I couldn't do that before. But it's an imaginary time block, which takes a while to get to, but it increases the tick rates around it. So if we ever got that, maybe we could. It's mainly supposed to be like, yeah, it's mainly supposed to be used for like plants and stuff, but maybe. But what we also need to do is get these all sorted. I think I'll make some cruxes in the background maybe because they're a little bit easier to get. Make some more awakened draconium stuff, especially since we've now got the crafting seed sorted. But the nether ones are going to take a little while and going to have to wait for us to make a automatic wither killer. I also want to check quickly interface terminal. I actually want to make one of those because I feel like that will make my life so much easier, considering what I'm thinking it does. So before we end the episode, we're going to quickly get that because, again, I think it does something really, really useful for us. We just need to get one more redstone. And I'll also, again, do this in the background of the episode as well. And we'll also get, you know, I don't feel so bad about doing stuff in between episodes now because we're going to have to be doing a lot of waiting anyway for the Neutronium to do. So if we right click on this one, it should now show us the interfaces of every single molecular assembler we have, which is really, really nice. Now these are going into nothing right now, so we can take those out. So we can get rid of them. And this just means we can hopefully a little easier spread everything out when we're doing this, so we can, you know, the problem is like the first 4 are probably going to be the first 4 terminals, and then, you know, it skips every so often. I think it's every 2 seemingly, but if we just make sure we don't have anything in the same terminal and then just double check it over physically over here, I think we should be good. But yeah, I'm going to get back on track making some, I don't know if we necessarily need to worry about the solar panel ones because we can just EMC solar panel tier 7s or 8s up But the draconium ones, again, aren't a huge thing, and I mean, we can't autocraft EMC, so I don't know the best way of kind of approaching that. But yeah, I'm going to do some of the basic stuff. I'm probably going to do all the essence ones and just get those sorted. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.